Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm excited to share today's top stories with you. We're starting off today with a significant development in Hong Kong, where the high-profile trial of media mogul Jimmy Lai has entered its final stages. Lai, the founder of the now-defunct Apple Daily newspaper, is facing charges under Hong Kong's national security law for allegedly colluding with foreign forces to undermine the Chinese government. The trial, which has been ongoing for nearly 150 days, has sparked concerns about press freedom and judicial independence in the Asian financial hub. Lai's lawyers have argued that he was simply exercising his right to free speech, while prosecutors claim that he was seeking to incite foreign intervention in Hong Kong's affairs. The case has attracted international attention, with many governments and human rights groups expressing concern about the implications for freedom of expression in Hong Kong. The U.S., in particular, has been vocal in its support for Lai, with former President Donald Trump weighing in on the issue during his presidential campaign. As the trial nears its conclusion, there are fears about the potential consequences for Lai and the broader implications for Hong Kong's media landscape. Will the court deliver a verdict that upholds the principles of press freedom, or will it set a worrying precedent for journalists and publishers in the region? We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it unfolds, and we'll bring you updates and analysis in the coming days. For now, let's take a look at some other major news stories making headlines around the world. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment, where we explore some of the most pressing stories from around the world. Today, we're focusing on a series of tragic events and policy changes related to migration. First, let's take a look at a heartbreaking story from Nigeria, where at least 40 people are missing after a boat capsized on a river in northwestern Nigeria. The accident occurred while the boat was transporting passengers to a market, and only 10 people have been rescued so far. This tragic incident is just one of many deadly boat mishaps that have taken place on Nigerian waterways, often caused by overloaded and poorly maintained vessels. Moving on to Greece, we see a different aspect of the migration story unfolding. Despite a suspension of asylum claims and plans for tougher detention rules, authorities in Greece have intercepted over 120 migrants off the island of Crete. The migrants arrived on 2 boats, believed to have departed from Libya, and were placed under guard at temporary shelters. This surge in arrivals comes as the Greek government prepares draft legislation that would mandate imprisonment for migrants whose asylum claims are denied and require ankle monitors during a 30-day compliance period before deportation. It's also worth noting that earlier this week, we reported on a story about Ethiopian migrants who lost their lives while attempting to cross the sea to reach Yemen. The incident highlighted the risks and challenges faced by many migrants who attempt to make these perilous journeys in search of better opportunities. As we explore these stories, it's essential to approach them with empathy and understanding. Migration is a complex issue that affects people from all walks of life, and it's crucial to consider the various factors driving these movements, including economic necessity, conflict, and climate change. We'll continue to follow these developments and provide you with updates as more information becomes available. For now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these migration stories? Share your perspectives with us on social media using the hashtag Barbara's Bulletin. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're closing out today's show with a comprehensive look at the ongoing situation in Gaza. As you may be aware, the conflict between Israel and Palestine has been escalating, with both sides suffering significant losses. According to recent reports, Amnesty International has accused Israel of deliberately starving Gaza's Palestinians, sparking widespread outrage and condemnation from human rights organizations around the world. This development comes as tens of thousands of Israelis take to the streets to protest the ongoing war in Gaza, demanding a ceasefire and a resolution to the hostage crisis. Meanwhile, Egyptian-mediated talks between Hamas and Israeli officials have yielded a new proposal for a ceasefire, which is currently being considered by both parties. The plan reportedly includes provisions for a temporary committee to oversee relief efforts, reconstruction, and governance in Gaza, although it remains unclear whether Hamas will relinquish control of the territory. In related news, Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry has called for an urgent meeting with Israeli and Palestinian leaders to discuss a potential ceasefire agreement. The international community is urging both sides to exercise restraint and work towards a peaceful resolution. It's essential to acknowledge that this conflict is complex and multifaceted, with deep-rooted historical, cultural, and political factors at play. As we strive to provide balanced coverage, it's crucial to recognize the human cost of this conflict, with innocent civilians on both sides suffering the consequences of violence and instability. As we wrap up today's segment, we encourage our listeners to stay informed and engaged on this critical issue. Remember that every conflict has multiple perspectives, and it's essential to approach these topics with empathy and understanding. That's all for today's Barbarous Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.